This lesson, we're going to have some fun with strings, looking at string methods. So first of all, let's create a string. We'll call it my string1, and then just create some content there. And now we can use that string, and we can, just as we saw with arrays, we can do my string1 and we can get the length of the array. So basically that's going to tell us how many characters are available. So even if we add in some spaces, do you think the string length is going to change? And if you said yes, you are correct. So even though it will display it the same way when it outputs it in the HTML, those are still characters. So all of those empty spaces that you can't see also count as well. We can also find a position, or we'll just call it needle. And looking through the my string1, we can get index of. So just as we saw with arrays, we've got a bunch of methods that are available. So if we want to know where world is located, we can output that content of needle from within the string. So let's try that out. So refresh. We see it's located in character position number 9 within the string. We can also, if we have world several times within our string, so let me add world in several times, we can see that the index of finds only the first one. So that's where we can do needle last, and we can do index of, but we can just add in front of index of, we'll do last index of. And what that will do is that will find out where the last value of world is going to be sitting. So I refresh that, that's in position number 38. You can also do a starting position as well. So if, for instance, we still wanted to use index of, we can specify where we want to start index of. So we know that it comes in at 9. So let's do find and find. So let's see what happens now. So we see that we're picking up this one here, which is starting at position number 31. We can also search for it as well. So let's paste that again. And this time we'll call it needle search. And instead of index of, so we're still specifying the string that we want to use, and we're using the search method. So we're going to find world. And we're actually just finding that first instance of it as well. So there's a number of options when you work with strings, and it gives you some flexibility with your strings in order to find content that's available within it. And just like the arrays, when we do index of, and if it doesn't exist in the string, then you're going to get returned back a value of -1. So taking what you've learned in the earlier lessons, this is where we've got an exercise where we're going to make use of what we've got within the string methods. And we're going to look through creating a function that's going to actually check to see if a word exists in the string. So that's what I want you to set up. You can use the string that I have. You can create your own string, and then also output it within H2, updating it whether the word exists or not within the string. And if it does exist, whatever position it exists at. So this is a combination of using the function and the condition to check to see if this method is returning back a -1 or if it's a numeric value. So we're going to have to make use of that condition in order to output our correct output within the H2. So go ahead and try this out for yourself, and I'll show you the solution coming up. So let's take what we've learned in the earlier lessons, and we're going to set up a function, call it check, pass in an argument. We're just going to pass in a value in it. And then within here, so first of all, let's console log out just to make sure our check is working properly. And we can refresh, and let's do check1, and that's working properly. So the next thing that we want to do is check to see within our string. So we do have our string. We're just going to use the my string value there. And we're going to check to see if that string has an index of whatever the value is. So let's do that. So we check our value, and we're going to return that back within the variable called check value. So we've got the my string1, use the method index of in order to locate the value, and we'll console log out check val so we can take a closer look and see what's happening. So let's do check 1, and we're getting back a value of -1. So we can use that within the condition that we can see if check val is less than 0, which it is if it doesn't find it, then we do something, and else we do something else. And I'll also create that function message where we're taking in the argument of message, and then what we're going to do is we're simply going to output whatever value was passed in there. So we're going to make use of that again as well. So within our check, let's output to message, and basically what this means, if it's less than 0, so if that value is true, then it wasn't found, and we'll put a sad face. And if it was found at, and then this is where we know that we've got a value for check val. So let's output that value, position. So let's try that out. So let's do a check and check for value of 1, not found. And this time let's look for something that actually exists in there. So instead of 1, let's do an uppercase 1, because again, it is case sensitive. Found at 17 position in the string. And we can also do any one of the words that are available in there, or if we don't even have to do words, we can do part of the words, letters. So it's just looking for a string value. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the actual word. We can even go to the first letter of E if it's in the string. So we see it's found at position 1 and so on. And we can be even more specific if we wanted to. So we could do 3, and we could look for 2, 3, see where that's located. So it's located position 21. So go ahead and try this out for yourself. Try out that challenge and that exercise and locate the position of the string that you're searching for within the string that you've got